Hi, Lucha Leaders. I've got a joke for you. How do you get an astronaut's baby to stop crying? You rock it. Get it? Rocket or rocket. Here's another one. What did the nose say to the finger? Stop picking on me. Get it? Picking the nose. This week we are talking about the Kimochis feeling of silly. Sometimes we all need to laugh. When times are tough and tension is high, laughing can be the best medicine. So we want you to be able to pull your silly out when you need it, to break that tension, to give yourself a little boost of energy and happiness. Silly is certainly good for that. Remember that everybody makes mistakes. They help us learn, and sometimes we can get frustrated when we're making mistakes. But if you can find the ability to find humor and be a little bit silly and laugh at your own mistakes, it's going to help you to not take yourself too seriously. Now, our friend Hugstopus also helps us with silly because Hugs is certainly a silly guy. But sometimes you can take silliness too far. You've got to make sure that you're following the katawaza, which is there's a time for being silly and there's a time for being serious. And you need to know how to turn it on and off because you might want to play and bump around and get in your friend's face and just be silly, but it can make your friend become frustrated. So, one important strategy that comes with silliness is an ability to communicate when it's time to settle down. One way that we can do this is to just make sure that we're giving a serious face and taking our hands and saying, settle down. This way, if you see somebody who's acting a little too hyper, a little too crazy at a time when it's not right, you can give them that tip and say, settle down. Okay? Sometimes your teachers might need to do that too. If we're getting so silly in class and it's time for us to start our work, settle down could be a good cue to help us transition back from being silly to being serious. Again, laughter and silliness is a wonderful tool, but there's a time to be serious and a time to be silly. And we want to teach our lucha leaders how to learn to use and navigate the difference between the two. So let's have some fun this week. Let's be silly, but let's also know when it's time to get to business and be serious. Have a great week, lucha leaders.